What is up, awesome people of the internet? Hello, hello, hello. Wow, y'all in the chat already. y'all in the chat already. What is up, awesome people? Y'all, we got some stuff to talk about. We got some serious stuff to talk about, y'all, because the champs are down. Down goes the champs. LSU lost a shocker of a game against Auburn. This was huge. This was a huge loss, and this probably wasn't something that a lot of people were expecting. So we're gonna get into it, y'all. We got a lot to talk about. Yes, there are other games that happened both yesterday and today. We'll get into some of those as well. But I did want to start off by talking about LSU because that is since the win, like an hour ago. This has been the talk of the town, so I wanted to give us some space for us to talk about it together, y'all. So yes, LSU lost the game. The score was 67 Auburn, 62 LSU. Now, for those who aren't that familiar with Auburn as a team, Auburn has struggled this year. So far, they were, before this game happened, they hadn't won a SEC conference game this year. Of course, with this win today, they got their first dub. And today was a record-setting crowd for Auburn. They had so many fans that came out to see LSU win, and it felt like at times that the game, it was kind of like a split between Auburn fans and LSU fans who came down to support the team. LSU came into this game on a 16-game winning streak, which was the best winning streak in the NCAA. Now, of course, that is gone. But yeah, we got a lot to talk about. So first, we're going to talk about the play of Auburn, and then we're going to move into LSU's issues. What up, M? What up? Hey, Eric. How y'all doing? So Michelle said, "I'm sad LSU lost." Any other LSU fans in the building that's not too happy with your team losing? Donovan says, "Angel was my only positive note. She wanted to win. She did. Yeah, Auburn is a bad loss for LSU. We're gonna really get into it." Rusty Nail says, "Down year for the SEC. Auburn wanted it," says Michael. Yes. So let's get into it. Let's get into Auburn and why they won this game. So again, Auburn won the game narrowly by only 5 points. And I would say there were two huge players for Auburn that really got them the dub. First of all, there's Jemiah Mingo Young, who was a baller. She transferred to Auburn this year, and she's been huge for this team because she's a player who can do it all. She can play some defense, some really good defense, actually. She can get her teammates involved, and also when she needs to score, she can score. She's a 5'8" grad student who has kind of bounced around in the SEC. She first started off at Mississippi State. Then she moved over to, I believe, Alabama. And now she is with Auburn. And it feels like she's really gotten her groove with Auburn, especially for the last several games. So far for the season, she's averaging 9.2 points a game. And she also is averaging around 4 assists a game. Jemiah came up huge for LSU. I mean, for Auburn today to beat LSU. And probably the game, the play of the game was, if you all remember, at the end of the game, it was, I don't know, what was 10 seconds left or something like that. Angel Reese came down with the ball, and they were running a flat for Angel to sort of get to the basket and do what she does. And Angel got to the basket, and Jemiah Mingo Young, she waited to the right moment to grab the ball as Angel was spinning. She grabbed the ball, got the steal, and then got the foul because Angel Reese fouled her. Like that was the play of the game. And that just really showed, that was kind of a microcosm of what this game really was. Like this was LSU trying to do some stuff and hitting a brick wall that was Auburn. Because Auburn showed up. They showed up and they showed out. And we're going to talk more about that Angel Reese ISO in a little bit when we really get into the LSU section. But I just wanted to just showcase that, like, that's stuff that Mingo Young can do. Like, that's why she is so special for this team, because she is just smart. You know, she's a grad student, so she's been playing the game of basketball for a long time at a high level for college. She's been at a couple of programs, and her IQ is strong. Her IQ is very strong, and she really did lead her squad today. Now there's also another grad student at Auburn who really did her thing as well. And you know, you got Honesty Scott Grayson who did her thing. She balled out today for Auburn. And fun fact, if you didn't know, she actually played for Kim Mulkey her freshman year when Kim Mulkey was still at Baylor. And then honestly transferred, and now she is with Auburn. She did her thing today, especially in the fourth quarter. She had some pretty big layups, and also early in the game, she had this huge and one. It was an Auburn steal, and then she got a huge and one layup. She just brought energy. she just brought energy for this team. And so it really was Jemiah and Honesty that just did their thing today. They really, really did. This game wasn't the cleanest game for Auburn. They had a lot of mistakes, but they had fight. They had fight, and that was something that you didn't necessarily see from LSU today, with the exception of Angel Reese. Like, Angel Reese really did. It felt like Angel Reese was really trying her best. But all of Auburn was locked in. They were locked in from the beginning, and they wanted this game. They wanted this game, especially because they were at home. So, of course, they were led by Mingo Young and Scott Grayson, who did their thing, showed some huge veteran leadership to lead them to victory. But ultimately, this was a coaching matchup. And I just want to give a huge shout out to Johnny Harris. She's the head coach for Auburn, who just did her thing, y'all. Like, y'all, let's talk about how amazing her design was for the game, right? This is her third year at Auburn, and she's really building something very, very special. And the strategy for this team, in my opinion, the strategy for Auburn was three things. One, it was playing hard-nosed defense without fouling. Also, it was to compete for all 50-50 balls, and especially down the stretch of the game, that's how Auburn won this game. They won this game from getting 50-50 balls. That's heavily boxing out on both Angel Reese and Anissa Morrow. That's when the ball is up in the air, just tipping it. Just keep tipping it until you get the ball. So that was to me the second big thing that was a part of Auburn's strategy today. And then at the end of the game, the strategy really was all about using up the entire shot clock because they wanted to limit LSU's touches. And it was very smart that Coach Harris was like, nah, we're gonna use. We got 30 seconds. We're gonna use 25 of those 30 seconds before we hit up a shot. And there were a couple times where Auburn actually had a good shot, but they waited until the shot clock went down, and then they tried to score. And that was smart. That was smart because they limited LSU's possessions, and LSU had a hard time getting back in this game. So huge flowers for Auburn, who just really showed up. They were ready to go. They showed out in front of a record-breaking crowd, might I add. Like, this was a huge win for this team. Probably the biggest crowd that a lot of these players have played in front of. And for them to get their first win of the SEC season, this was huge. So better late than never to play your best basketball against the champs. So yeah, I did just want to go through that and really just give Auburn their flowers, because I just thought this was an amazing game. This was a very well coached game for Auburn, and the players, while they didn't play the cleanest of game, they did exactly what they needed to do to frustrate LSU and to get the dub. So let me know, y'all, what y'all think about Auburn and Coach and Coach Harris, because she did her thing, y'all. Judith says, so happy for Coach Harris. Tiana says, support Black women head coaches. Yes, Coach Johnny prepare her team. She did. She really did. She really did prepare her team. Like this was a good game. This was a very good game. Maddie says, Auburn outplayed and outcoached LSU. We need a point guard before we can go any further. Congratulations to Auburn. LSU has got to get back in the gym. Yeah. So we talked about Auburn. Just wanted to make sure I gave Auburn their flowers before we get into the LSU talk, because y'all, we got some stuff to talk about when it comes to LSU. We got some stuff to talk about. But yeah, Robert says, congrats to Auburn. Yeah. Big flowers. Big flowers. Yeah, Auburn did that most of the game. Still can't believe when it gets physical, Morrow goes into a shell. Nobody but Angel came to play. Yeah, Angel Reese did come to play. She did come to play. She did come to play. Okay. All right, y'all. Good thing to note. So Auburn men's and Auburn's women's teams swept LSU this weekend. So I believe the men's teams played yesterday, I believe, and then today, of course, the women's teams played. So yeah. All right. So let's get into LSU and why I thought they lost this game. But actually, real quick, before we do, I do want to ask y'all a favor. We got about 218 people in the chat, y'all. If y'all can please hit that like button, y'all. If y'all can hit that like button, that would be amazing. If we can get to 100 likes, that would be really, really awesome. So if you have not hit the like button, y'all, I am asking for you to just hit that like button. It helps more people to find this video. Because yeah, we all love women's basketball, and we want more people to find out what we're talking about. So if you can hit that like button, that would be really, really awesome. I did want to pull up a post-game interview that was done with Mingo Young, and so I did want to talk about that. Ooh, shout out, actually, before we get there, shout out to Shakim. Shakim with the super chat. Shakim says, oh no, Quita, not the Lady Tigerettes. I thought this was a super team. Do you think LSU can make any subs because of the roster? Yeah. This LSU team cannot hold water to South Carolina. They were terrible. They were terrible this year. Also, shout out to Daryl, who gave a super sticker. Appreciate you, Daryl. The super sticker was a hamburger. Yeah, this LSU team cannot hang at all with South Carolina. But I did wanna share what Jemiah Mingo Young had to say after the game was over. I can't show the video because ESPN is going to copyright it. So I'm going to show a photo, and then we're going to listen to the audio of Jemiah Mingo Young after this game.
Jemiah Mingo Young and Auburn just beat LSU, the defending champions. How did you do it?
Toughness, man. Toughness. We knew we were going to have a crowd today, and we just wanted to just stick together. We knew that they were going to go on their runs, but we knew we had to stick together and just play for each other and just be tough the whole game.
That's what they did.
You made a run in that second quarter, but you all did not back down. How much did what you all had to, when you fell short against Ole Miss, to close this out today?
just toughness down the stretch, being locked in and not making mental mistakes on the defensive end. We knew that's what killed us in the Ole Miss game, was just slight mental mistakes. So we had to stay focused in the fourth quarter on defense and just lock in.
Defense. How about that big turnover you forced on Angel Reese?
Yeah, that was huge.
That's what we've been working on. Just when she get the ball, just crowd her. I didn't do it the whole game, but I just knew she couldn't see me when she spent, so I just went and got the ball.
Took it right out of her hands.
Yes, ma'am.
Where has this team, you coming in your first year with Auburn, where have you seen this group grow the most?
Just maturity. We had a tough stretch to start SEC, but when you lose, you gotta dig deep. You gotta look in the mirror and see what exactly do I have to work on to help the team. And I think everybody just mentally just was ready and prepared for this game.
Yeah. So that was Jemiah Mingo Young after the game. I just wanted to share that because, like, she's right. This was a team that their focus was to limit the mental mistakes, and so far, Auburn has lost some critical games so far this year because of just dumb mistakes that they would make. And this game, they were focused. They were focused. They came in on a mission and they said, hey, regardless of how many shots we make, how many shots we miss, we are going to play hard and we're going to play focused. And that's what they did, especially at the towards the end of the game. They really did. So I wanted to just play that clip because I thought it was a really good clip from Mingo Young. All right, guys. So let's get into LSU. Actually, before we do that, I saw a super chat come through. Shout out to Michael T, who says, "Where were the guards for LSU? Haley Van Liff and Williams were nowhere to be found." Yeah, let's talk about that. let's talk about that. So, y'all, let me know in the chat what y'all think about the players for LSU. Who do you think was actually ready to play? Because in my opinion, the player who was really ready to play for this game and like dialed in and like trying her hardest was Angel Reese. This game overall was flat, in my opinion, for the LSU Tigers. It felt like nobody was really in rhythm at all. With the exception of Angel Reese. Michaela Williams, I would say she played the worst game I've seen for her this season. Yes, I haven't caught every single LSU game, but I've watched most of them this season, and so far this was the worst I've seen her play. But again, she's a freshman, so it's not the end of the world. It's not the biggest of deals. But she was off. She was off today. And she was trying to force some stuff on offense, but it wasn't working. And, again, not the end of the world. Michaela Williams, a freshman, she's still really, really good. Today just wasn't her day. And it was interesting, especially towards the end of the game, where LSU was trying to run some they were trying to run some plays for Michaela Williams. And I understood what they were trying to do, like sure, but also Michaela Williams was having such an off game that to me, it didn't make sense to go to her at the end of the game. In the fourth quarter, it was a lot of getting it to Angel Reese and seeing what she can do to either get to the foul line or get a shot up. And then it was about trying to get Michaela Williams to get engaged in the game. But in my opinion, there was an opportunity to really get Anissa Morrow involved, especially later in that fourth quarter. And yes, Anissa Morrow did not have the best of games today. However, I felt that we should have seen more of Anissa Morrow in the fourth quarter, especially late in the fourth quarter. Yes, she of course played basically the entire game, but when it came down to it, it was just like they were just putting it on Angel Reese's shoulders. And Angel Reese, tried her best. She did her thing. Missed some critical, very, very critical free throws. Overall, LSU wasn't the best on free throws. But I don't know. I thought it was an opportunity to get Anissa Morrow involved offensively in the fourth quarter, late in the fourth quarter, and they just didn't do it. And I was kind of surprised about that. We saw that for a good portion of the fourth quarter, Haley Van Lith was on the bench, and Lasser Poa was playing the point. It was for a couple reasons. I would say one is because Lasser Poa is just better on defense, and LSU really, really needed to stop. They really, really needed to stop Auburn on the offensive end. And also, Haley Van Lith, again, was just off at point. So, that's for sure. That was for sure an issue. And so they had to go with Lasser Poa, who Lasser Poa, she could pass the ball around, but she doesn't look for her shot. And I think that kind of hurt LSU towards the end of the game because they really did need another scorer on the court because Michaela she was just off. She wasn't really getting into rhythm and getting her shot off. Angel Reese, yeah, she was getting to the bucket. She was getting to the free throw line, all that good stuff. But they needed more scoring, and it would have, like, I get why Coach decided to take out. I get why Coach decided to take out Haley Van Lith. I get it, but I also think it would have been better from a offensive production side of things if Haley Van Lith was actually in the game. Janae says, why is Haley always injured? I mean, I don't think it was an injury thing today. It was especially why she was taken out in the fourth quarter. It was that she was not playing well is why I believe she was taken out. Reese was ready. Yep, Marcia. Angel Reese did. She tried. Free throws killed her. But she tried. She was 8 of 10 from the free throw line, and yesterday, tomorrow, yes. So yesterday, tomorrow, I was talking about a pass that Haley Van Lith made to Angel Reese. I believe that was in the fourth quarter, and it was like right. It was such a bad pass. There were like 3 people around Angel Reese when the pass came through, and I was just like, what in the world? Like it was. I wasn't really sure what Haley Van Lith was looking at as to why she made the pass that she made. And then right after that, she promptly got taken out the game. she promptly got taken out the game because that was a bad pass. And to be fair, last year Poa did also have a really bad pass in this game earlier in the game. But overall, this was just not the best offensive production from a guard perspective for LSU. It just wasn't great. It just wasn't great at all. Yeah, Jay Judith says LSU slept on Auburn and paid the price. Yeah, they did. Yeah. Also, guys, we are at 89 likes. If we can get to 100 likes, that would be really, really amazing. We're 11 off, and we got 295 people in the chat. If y'all could, if I can get 11 people to hit that like button, that would be awesome. So yeah, let's talk about let's talk more about this final play. So towards the end of the game, it was only a couple seconds left in the game. David says, why would Angel try to dribble from the logo? She's not a guard. Well, here's the deal. Towards the end of the game, LSU had the ball, and Coach Kim Mulkey had a choice. She could have decided to call a timeout and draw up a play, or she could let her team work and see what they can do. And she decided to let her team work, and specifically, she decided to allow Angel Reese to take the ball down and try to make something happen. Now, of course, Angel Reese is not a point guard. She's not a guard. She's not a player who is necessarily the the most skilled of a dribbler. However, I get why they ran that play. Like I understood it. I really did understand it. Because Angel Reese is a player that can either get to the basket, or a player that can or get to the basket and score, or she can get to the basket and pass it out to a teammate. So I understood the play. However, it just didn't turn out the way that LSU wanted it to, because Angel spinned right into Mingo Young. Mingo Young stole the ball, got fouled. That was in the game. That was it from there. So I understand why Kim Mulkey allowed that play to go through. But I understand it, but I'm also kind of just like, okay, well, if you're gonna do that, if you're gonna allow Angel Reese to go down and try to get a basket at the end of the game, you should tell her to do that sooner, so that if it doesn't work, you're not completely screwed. In terms of like timing, because they had time. If she could have she stalled a little bit and then went to the basket. If she would have just went to the basket first, you could have had maybe 25 seconds left on the shot clock. So maybe even after that turnover, you still could have had a chance. So I get why Coach Mulkey allowed Angel Reese to go down the court and to take it herself. Like, I get it, and I'm not upset with the play. Like, it makes sense, because Angel Reese can do that. She can get to the basket and make some stuff happen. However, I think it should have been done sooner, so that in the event that she wasn't successful, LSU still had a chance to win the game. So that's that's my opinion. That is my opinion. Zakiya says, I think she stalled waiting for a cut or screen. I thought it seemed like they were just running a flat for Angel. So I think she was stalling to waste the shot clock. That's why I thought she was stalling, but maybe you're right. Maybe she was waiting for a cut or something. But it seemed like they were running a flat for her. Kyra says she coached it, but the shot clock usage was bad. Let's see what else y'all got to say. Let's see. Yesterday Tomorrow says, I didn't know they were allowed to take a timeout between two free throws. Yeah, they can do that. It's rare that you see it, though. It's very, very rare that you see a coach take a timeout in between free throws. But yeah. But yeah, she took the timeout in between. Like, yeah, I didn't necessarily have an issue with that. I didn't necessarily have an issue with that. Oh yeah. When Honesty was at Baylor, Kim Mulkey was her coach, and I believe she only spent her freshman year at Baylor, and then she went over to Auburn. Marcia says, "Come on, awesome people of the internet, hit that like button." Yes, y'all. Listen to Marcia. Robert says, in a play like that, you have to clear out the paint. It was clogged. Then let Angel get one-on-one. Yeah. Oh, Banav, we just talked about it. We just talked about it. We just talked about it. But yeah, overall, what else do y'all think about this game? What else would y'all like to talk about when it comes to LSU versus Auburn? let's see what else we got to say. Yeah, Nolan says next for LSU is Alabama, Arkansas, and the game of the year, South Carolina versus LSU. And y'all, after this game, it's making me, yes, this was just one game. Yes, this was just one game, not the biggest deal in the world. However, it just brings a little bit more concerns for LSU because it was clear that they needed bench production today. They did, because Michaela was off today. She was off. Anissa Morrow was okay. Haley Van Lith was off. Last year, Poa, she was okay. But in times like this, when you have a player that's struggling like Michaela Williams, it would be helpful to give, take her to the bench and have her recoup and regroup herself and get ready to go back in and play some basketball. But for LSU, they don't really have a bench. They run basically on a 6-man rotation. It's the starters and last year Poa. That's basically it. That is basically it for this team. Yes, they have other players, and yes, Del Rosario and Kent played a couple minutes, barely any. They played Kent played 6 minutes. Del Rosario only played 4. So for the most part, the starters were in basically the entire game, with the exception of Flage and Haley. Michaela Williams played 39 minutes. Anissa Morrow played 39 minutes. Angel Reese played 37 minutes. That's not that sustainable. It's just not. It's just not that sustainable when it comes down to actually making some stuff work. RC says, let's get LSU a couple more of them L's. Michaela, yes, I completely agree with you. I completely agree. Michaela says LSU is looking like the Aces. If that starting lineup ain't working, then they're losing. Yes. And sometimes that happens. It's not unheard of for the starters to have a really off game. That's not unheard of. It's not that big of a deal. But in LSU's circumstance, they don't have a bench that that Kim Mulkey can bring in and allow them to play some good ball. They don't. And I actually have a clip of at the end of LSU's game against Texas A&M. This was 2 days ago. There was a interview that Coach Kim Mulkey did after the game that I thought was very eye-opening, and it was an issue that LSU had today, and I believe it's an issue that cost them the game today, and it was their ability to score. It was their ability to score, and I guess not only score, but it was their ability to actually play some defense. And I thought that was a huge thing for LSU. Yes, they didn't score the ball that great. They didn't. And you'll have those games sometimes. But can you rely on your defense to save the day for you when your offense is just not working? And in today's situation, that was a no. That was a no for LSU. Their defense couldn't save them. And I want to play this clip. From Kim Mulkey after LSU's game against oh my God, can I talk today? After LSU's game against Texas A&M a couple of days ago, because I thought this was a pretty important issue that Kim Mulkey raised. So let's listen in. I'm going to just show a screenshot of it while I play the audio, because again, I don't want to get copywritten. So let's hear what Kim Mulkey had to say after their game against Texas A&M.
Mulkey, whose team has won 16 consecutive games Kim, 87 points against the #1 defense in the land. That's quite a production.
Lynn, I've said it and I'll keep saying it. We can score the ball. My irritation right now is we gave up 70. We've got to quit giving up this many points, or somebody that can score with us is going to beat us. I'm aggravated because I think we had a 23-point lead and I cleared the bench. And now we leave here with a 17-point lead. That matters. It matters as a coach, because I'm going to quit giving you those minutes. I'm going to quit giving them to you. It aggravates me. That was a 30-point game, and I subbed, okay? And I'm going to hold them accountable. I'm grateful we won. Crowd was great, but you got to keep teaching. Got to keep teaching.
Along those lines, Coach.
So yeah, that is what Coach. Volume is too low. Oh, dang it! Sorry about that. Were y'all able to hear what Coach had to say? I do apologize for the sound being too low. Basically what she was talking about is, they won against Texas A&M, and she was like, that's great, but you gave up a lot of points. In the game against Texas A&M, LSU gave up 70 points in that game. And Kim Mulkey's basically like, hey, you can't keep doing that, or someone's going to beat us, basically. And that's what Auburn did today. Auburn scored 67 points today and beat LSU. This was very it was kind of amazing that Kim said that, and then the next game they lost, because she's right. You can't just give up a whole bunch of points like that. You have to be better on defense, and that's something that LSU has struggled when it comes to defense. There were several times in this game where Auburn got to the paint, and it was like LSU, they weren't either they were fouling or they just allowed Auburn to get to the paint and just didn't really challenge them. Like, there were times where I was just like, how in the world you let this girl get to the basket? Like, it was both sometimes where, like, the post players for LSU, they got, I don't know, distracted or what. I don't know what it was, but like defensively, they haven't been that good. And if you want to win games, you have to play some serious defense. And that's a piece where you gotta get into it. You have to be able to play some defense. Because when it comes down to it, those 50-50 balls, when the ball is in the air, you need to show up. You need to be able to grab those balls, because Auburn won a bunch of 50-50 balls. They did. They won a bunch of 50-50 balls. And, LSU, just because on paper you're the more talented team, you actually have to show up and be the more talented team. So, again, this isn't the biggest deal in the world. This isn't. LSU is still a really good team, even though they lost this game. I still think they're gonna come out of SEC play second in the conference. They're still gonna do very well in the NCAA tournament. But cracks like this, they just expose LSU. And LSU really needs to get their guard play together. Yes, Michaela Williams is going to be fine the next game. I'm not worried about Michaela Williams. What I'm worried about is their point guard play. They really do need to get, Haley Van Lith just needs to get better. And I like Haley Van Lith. I do. I think she's a fun player. She's a player who, even though she's struggling right now, you can tell that girl's hustling. She is trying her hardest on the court. And right now it's just not enough. LSU needs more of a defensive front when it comes to the guard position, the point guard position. And they also need more playmaking. when it comes to the point guard position. And that's something that, we'll see if Hailey Van Lith can do it, but, it's not showing. And yes, I do agree. I'm seeing in the chat people talking about Kateri Poole. Yeah, they are missing Kateri Poole because she's a player that you could have just put Kateri in the game. You could have put Kateri in the game to give your players a rest, and she wouldn't screw it up, basically. And Kim Mulkey trusted Kateri Poole. Kim Mulkey does not trust her bench. It's clear. She does not trust her bench at all. So, we'll see. Keisha says LSU will be okay. They will be okay. In general, they will be okay. Again, they're going to probably finish second in SEC play. They're going to make it far in the NCAA tournament, but they need players on their bench to step up. They need it. And it starts in practice. It starts in practice. They need these players to actually step up, and actually give the starters a breather, because running a 6-man rotation is going to be hard, because as we've seen, there's been lots of injuries all around the country. And of course, I don't wish injury on anybody, but when you're running 6 players, basically, and you have 2 or 3 players who are playing 38 plus minutes a game, that's not sustainable. That's just not sustainable at all. But yeah, that's the LSU game. Let's see. All things women's college basketball says Hailey Van Lith or Velez needs to grind at the point, and Velez ain't getting off the bench, so Hailey Van Lith better dig deep. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. We will see what happens. Drew says, and Poa looked better this game. I love Hailey, but she just isn't meant to be a point guard. If I were Mulkey, I'd put Poa because she made some good passes, and just because she knows how to do it better. Hailey is more of a 2 guard. Yeah, Hailey is more of a 2 guard, but we'll see. We'll see. We will see what happens. We will see what happens. All right, guys. I think we're gonna transition from talking about LSU and talk about some of the other games that happened, some of the other big games that happened. So I do want to start off with Stanford losing to Colorado. The Buffaloes won 71-59. Not the biggest deal in the world. This isn't an upset at all. Stanford, I don't know. Stanford is a really good team. However, they need more play. Uh-oh, that was too loud. Stanford needs more players to do their thing, basically. You have Kiki Iraofen, who, again, if there was a most improved player of the year, it would go to Kiki Iraofen, because Kiki is really good. Kiki Iraofen, she wasn't that great of a player last year, but this year she has stepped up and she's making some noise, y'all. She had 19 points in this game. She had 17 rebounds, which is kind of cool. And Cameron Brink, I thought, wasn't that great today. They needed more from her. And I get it, struggles sometimes, but yeah. Overall we had Stanford lose the game to the Colorado Buffaloes. This doesn't really hurt Stanford at all in the rankings, because Colorado is a better team. Even though Stanford has more of the name recognition, Colorado is a better team. So not the biggest deal, but I just wanted to just mention this game, and just talk about it. The fact that Kiki Iraofen needs to be on people's lists, because she's really good. She's really, really good. All right, so let's continue on with with some of the other games that happened today. We also had Virginia Tech lose in what for sure is an upset. They lost to Florida State. So, y'all, let's talk about this game. So, one of the things that we saw today is the fact that we had y'all. Okay, I am a quick segue real quick. I am on ESPN and it looks like USC might be pulling off an upset against UCLA. Right now we are in the fourth quarter with less than 2 minutes left to go. And USC is winning 65-59. Wow. Okay. Okay, that's pretty big. That is pretty big. I do not have since I'm live, I don't have my TV on, so I can't watch that game, but y'all, it looks like UCLA is about to lose to USC. All right, back to our regularly scheduled program. Let's get into this Virginia Tech Florida State game. Now, Elizabeth Kitley continues to do her thing. When it comes to the college game, Elizabeth Kitley is very good. She's one of the best posts in the country in college. And again, she just does her thing. She had 30 points in this game, double-double, 14 of 28 from the field. Virginia Tech should have won this game. They should have won this game. But there were two players for Florida State that had something to say about this game. Florida State is a team that can run. They're a team that's focused. They're a team that can play some defense at times. And it was all about two players. You had I always forget how to pronounce her last name. Sarah Bajetti, who she killed today. Y'all, this girl was shooting 3 after 3 after 3 after 3. Y'all, she had like 5 3-pointers in this game. She had 31 points, career high. She did her thing in this game. And that's what helped. That's what helped the Seminoles to win this game. Also, I do have to give a huge shout out to the freshman, the sophomore known as Tanaya Latson. Y'all, Tanaya Latson is serious. She's really, really good. She's at Florida State, so she's not going to get as much attention as some of these other players across the country. She's not going to get as much attention, but y'all, she's serious. And she didn't even have the best game today. She didn't have the best game today, and she still balled. She still balled today. She was about 64% she was 41% from the field. So not the most efficient game today. However, she did her thing. She had 20 points in this game, 8 assists, y'all. Again, she had 8 assists. Yeah. The Florida State Seminoles are good. They're a good team. Yeah, Drew, she did. Tanaya's good. Tanaya and Sarah, very, very good for Florida State. And we'll have to see how far Florida State jumps, because this was a huge game. This was a huge game for Florida State, and we'll see. Also, if you don't know, Sarah is she's a senior. So it's likely she'll probably come back for another year next year. But yeah. Kentucky Lucky wants to move on to talk about Iowa. Yeah. Iowa likely will move up to number 2. Yeah. After once we hit tomorrow, they'll probably be number 2. Yep. because it seems like UCLA is going to lose this game. We'll have Iowa move up to number 2, and then of course we'll have South Carolina at number 1. We'll likely see LSU drop severely in the rankings. They'll probably move down to like, I'm thinking maybe like 15 or 16 in the rankings. But we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. Y'all, we are still on UCLA USC watch. Right now we are a little bit under a minute left to go in the fourth quarter. UCLA is losing by 5 points. This is 62-67. So we'll see how this game continues to go. One thing that you can never doubt about USC is that as long as Juju Watkins is cooking, USC got a chance. USC has a chance. They're up by 5, and Juju is killing. She has 30 points in this game, 14 free throws, which is just like crazy. 14 free throws. That's a lot of free throws for one player. That is a lot of free throws from one player. So we'll see how she continues to play. 30 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists. Efficiency wise, not that great. You know, she's 8 of 22 for today. But Juju is Juju. She's a beast. She is a beast on the court. And again, y'all, this girl's a freshman. This girl is a freshman. Like, come on now. Come on. Come on. Also, fun fact for this game, if you didn't know, now you know, Lauren Betts actually came off the bench today. She came off the bench today, and so far she has 10 points for UCLA. And Charisma Osborne is doing her thing with 23 points. Tanya says, South Carolina, it's lonely being at the top. Yeah, they're Drew, you funny. Drew says 14 free throws. Now she's trying to go Angel Reese. I mean, if the refs are gonna call it, they're gonna call it. But I'm gonna just say this: the refs for the last several games have been pretty suspect, in my opinion. In my opinion, they've been pretty suspect. Honestly agrees with you, Drew. Juju has a very bright future in college. Yes, she does. Yes, she does. And again, y'all, this girl's a freshman. She's leading the Pac-12. Like, I mean, what else can you want from a freshman? All right, we're still on the watch for the game. We have 59 seconds left to go in the game. Again, this is 67 USC, 62 UCLA. So we'll see how this game continues to go. We will see. Now, question, guys. What are your projections in terms of top 25 for tomorrow when it gets released? What are your projections? Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat. So other games, just as a FYI, guys, Ohio State beat Michigan State today, 70-65. Not a surprise at all. Also, North Carolina is continuing to win. They won against Virginia, 81-68. Now, y'all, Deja Kelly, she killed today. She had 27 points in this game. Deja Kelly, I would say she's been off lately. But she did her thing today. 27 points, 5 assists, 5 rebounds, 4 of 7 from 3. So really, really good. Baylor is going down. I saw someone say it in the chat. Yeah. Gianna says Baylor is definitely moving down. Yes, they are. Baylor has hit a rough patch. For a long while, Baylor was just They were just killing. And now they're struggling. Now they're struggling. If you didn't know, Baylor played Iowa State yesterday, and they lost. They lost a very, very narrow game. The score was 66-63. Now, Baylor was number 4. They lost to an unranked team. Same thing for LSU today. They lost to an unranked team. Iowa State is a good team. Like, don't get me wrong, but they weren't ranked. They weren't ranked in the top 25. So Baylor is going to drop like a rock. They are. So we'll see how far they go. But yeah, they're gonna severely drop. They really are. They really are going to severely drop. Also in other games, Kansas State beat Texas yesterday as well. I wouldn't say this was a huge shocker. Kansas State won 61-58. K-State's a good team. With when Ioka Lee is ready to go, they look good. They look good. So she had a double-double yesterday, 21 points, 10 rebounds, and 4 assists. Booker, again, with the freshman, Booker did her thing yesterday, but it just wasn't enough for Texas to get the dub. Booker had 23 points yesterday. All Things Women's College Basketball has a prediction. They say K-State and UConn will enter the top 10. USC will likely be top 5 if they win. UCLA will likely remain top 5. Yeah, if USC wins, I could totally see they're being moved up to number 5. All right, guys, we are continuing to watch this UCLA USC game. Right now, we have 49 seconds left to go. The score again is USC 67, UCLA 63. So we'll see how this game continues to go. But what other predictions do you have? Jay Judith says Iowa lost to unranked Kansas State. If UCLA loses, it will be to number 9 USC. If anything, Colorado should be number 2. Well, yes, but at the time, Iowa did lose to an unranked K-State, but K-State was a way better team than the AP polls gave them credit for. So because of that, yes, they were unranked at the time, but like the weight of that to me is different than LSU losing to an unranked team or pick a team, a team that lost to an unranked team. So just saying. Bree Wayne says, "Dang, UConn is getting scary." I mean, UConn is finding a way to win games. So y'all, UConn is down lots of players due to injury this season. And they're just finding a way to win. They're just finding a way to win, grinding it out, and just making it happen. And that's, you got to salute that. Like you have to salute it. Like, Gino has gotten the gang together and he's getting them to believe, even though they're down a lot. There's so many players who are injured for this team, and they're relying on freshmen to show up and make some stuff happen. So. Oh, Kelsey says, I went to the Rice versus USF game in Houston. It was a fight. So actually, I did not pay attention to that game. So what happened? Let me know what happened. I did not pay attention to that game. All right, guys. Update for USC and UCLA. USC is now winning 68-63. We have 14 seconds left to go in the game, so it's a done deal. USC is winning this game. Jay Judah says, is K-State better than USC? No. In my opinion, no, they're not. K-State's a really good team. I like them. They're not better than USC, in my opinion. I do think UConn is going to move up in the polls. I do think UConn is going to move up in the polls, but we'll see. We'll see. All right, guys. We have hit an hour on this live stream. We got 277 people in the chat, but only 167 likes. If y'all can hit that like button. If you haven't hit the like button, that would be awesome. Kyra says, Juju is not leaving the floor without a win. That's facts. That is straight facts. Straight facts. Kelsey says that Rice beat USF, got the win, and is a back and forth throughout. Nice. Kelsey, are you like what team were you rooting for? Rice or USF? And do you have like season tickets or something? Let me know in the chat, guys. Do you all have season tickets to any college teams near your house? Let me know. RC says, I don't want South Carolina to be unbeaten alone, and I want my UCLA Bruins to come back to earth. RC, your Bruins lost. your Bruins lost, man. They lost. Yes, agree. Listen to Honestly, who says smash that like button. Y'all, the game is basically over. We have 11 seconds left to go in the fourth quarter. USC is winning 70-65, y'all. 70-65. So yeah. Gianna says Juju should be National Player of the Year. So y'all, maybe we'll do a separate stream about that. Who should be the National Player of the Year? But yeah. I do think she's in the conversation. I do think she's in the conversation for sure. Whoa, shout out to Frank. Shout out Frank. Frank gave a super chat and says, I'm impressed with Iowa State's starting 3 freshmen. Yeah, Iowa State is a good team. Yes, they are not ranked. They will be ranked likely after tomorrow. But yeah, they got some players. And hold on, let me refresh my memory, because they got one player whose sister, I think, is in the WNBA. Yeah, I just wanna check this out real quick. I can't remember who they have. It's a Kelsey Jones. Yeah, her sister played for Iowa State before. But yeah, shout out to Iowa State. So in terms of scoring, Hannah Bellinger, she had 15 points in this game. Ariana Jackson played all right with 5 points. But Audie Crooks with 23 points and 6 rebounds. Now, y'all, I will have to say, I do need to actually watch the full game for Baylor versus Iowa State today. So I'll probably watch that after we get off the stream, because I haven't like fully watched that game yet. Oh, we're at 190 likes. That's awesome. Thank y'all so much for hitting that like button. Who's better, Juju or Carlin? I assume you mean Caitlin. Caitlin's better. Yeah, Caitlin's better. Caitlin is better. Yes. Juju is amazing. Again, Juju is amazing, especially as a freshman. Amazing player. But yeah, Caitlin Clark is a better player. Yes. At this moment. Janae says Caitlin needs to be player of the year. All year she's been going crazy. That's facts. She has been doing really well. Yes. Yeah, Drew. Yeah, the polls are gonna be turned upside down. And yeah. I'm gonna have a segment about the polls. Polls, I do adore. I'm gonna have a segment about the AP updated polls tomorrow in tomorrow's episode of Women's Basketball Weekly. So I hope y'all plan on watching that. It will be released tomorrow at 6 p.m. Central Time. So hopefully y'all can check that out and we can have a conversation about these AP polls, because they're gonna be turned upside down. Yes, RC, yes. Molly Davis. Now, Molly Davis, I have liked her since she has gone to Iowa. She's a player who can score. She used to score a lot when she was before she transferred to Iowa. And while she has shown instances of being very good, I felt like yesterday's game was her breakout game. That was Molly Davis's breakout game. Welcome to the big stage. Welcome to Iowa women's basketball. She did her thing yesterday. She did her thing. Vic B says game over, USC won. Yep, y'all. We got one undefeated team. One undefeated team in the top 25, and that is the South Carolina Gamecocks. Like, y'all, I'm just like, man, down goes UCLA. They are no longer undefeated. They are now 14-1 on the season. We have USC. They got the dub 73-65. And, UCLA, again, I've been doing the stream the whole time, so I haven't really been able to watch the game. However, we got a lot to talk about tomorrow. We got a whole lot to talk about tomorrow for Women's Basketball Weekly, because y'all, it's crazy. It's crazy. Nolan, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you. Nolan says, unrelated good news for South Carolina and Fever fans. Victoria Saxton had 33 points, 12 rebounds, 14 of 17 from the field. She is putting in work, y'all, in Euro ball. Yeah, shout out to Victoria Saxton, y'all. Victoria Saxton is a player that I really liked her for South Carolina. She went to Indiana. She made the roster primarily, I think, because of I think primarily the reason why she made the roster is because of Aaliyah Boston. It seemed like Indiana was trying to make Aaliyah Boston happy by keeping her former teammate on the team. But while she was on the roster, she didn't play. So it's good to see her getting some good burn in Europe. Shout out to Victoria Saxton, and thank you, Nolan, for sharing that news with us. Thank you for sharing. Tiana says, a great day to be a Gamecock. Yeah. So Eric Fullen says, let's give Delisha Milton-Jones a shout out for the work she's doing at Old Dominion. Yeah, facts. Delisha Milton-Jones was a former WNBA player, and she was in the league for a while. And so now she's getting into coaching. She's at Old Dominion. I have not totally been watching what Old Dominion has been doing. I saw a clip the other day of her, but yeah, I need to tap in to what Old Dominion is doing. But yeah, shout out to Delisha Milton-Jones, and shout out to all of the former WNBA players who are doing their thing on the coaching front. Also, I don't know if y'all saw, but I released a video today talking about the college, the WNBA coaches, the active WNBA players who are coaching in the college game. If y'all have not watched that video, you can watch that right after the stream is over. But yeah, there's lots of players, active players, who are now coaching in the college game. But again, there's also former players who are coaching as well. 757 stand up. I don't know what area code that is. I assume that's South Carolina, but that's my assumption. Yeah, Ty, I think you're absolutely right. So here's the difference. Now here is the difference between South Carolina and UCLA, Iowa, LSU. Pick a team in the country. Pick a team. The key for South Carolina's winning is a couple things. One is the fact that, first of all, Don Staley is just a phenomenal coach. He's just amazing. Two, it's the fact that South Carolina has depth. If the starters are not doing the best, they have players who can come off the bench and give them some good minutes, right? That's something that for sure LSU doesn't have. For sure, Iowa doesn't necessarily have. Not really. All these other programs are very dependent on one player or two players. And when it comes to South Carolina, it's anybody's game. Bree Hall can get you one day. Raven Johnson can get you the next day. Camila Cardoso can get you the next day. Like that's what makes them so good, because it's not just one player. For Iowa, basically, if Kaylin Clark has a bad game, they're likely going to lose. For USC, it's all about Juju. If Juju has a bad game, USC is losing. When it comes to just pick your team around the country. They just basically have like one player or two players that all you have to do is shut them down, and that's it. They're losing the game. And that's something that South Carolina don't have to deal with. They don't have to deal with that. And that just makes them tough, because when you're looking at just the roster itself, you could wonder, okay, well maybe they don't have enough. But if you look at how these players play together, how they really are, if y'all remember Drumline, y'all remember the saying "one band, one sound"? That's South Carolina. That's South Carolina right there. One band, one sound. They are all moving together. It doesn't matter who's having a bad game. The other players will pick them up and make some stuff happen. And that's something that that's hard to find in the college game. It just is. It just is hard to find. And that's what makes South Carolina such a dangerous team. They have a phenomenal coach, and they have players who are able to have a game where any player can have a game. Again, it could be Bree Hall, it could be Raven, it could be Cardoso, it could be oh my goodness, I'm blanking on her name. It's the one that had the I forgot her name. There's the white girl on South Carolina, Chloe Kitts. There we go, Chloe Kitts. It could be Chloe Kitts. It could be any player for South Carolina. It could be Malaysia Fulwiley. And that's something that it makes South Carolina special. It makes South Carolina special, and they're just different. They are just different. Michael says they are so well rounded. They can shoot it, or they can get it down low in the paint. Facts. Yeah. Absolutely. Ty says, yeah, I see the Gamecocks beating LSU unless they do a complete turnaround. Yeah, I agree. Yep. Shondell, I agree. Shondell says, and South Carolina has powered up its 3-point shooting. We deep, and anyone can step up. Yeah. And that's what South Carolina needed. Last year, that was about it. They needed consistent and confident 3-point shooting. That's what they needed. And they got it. And they got it this year. They struggled with that last year. That's why they lost against Iowa, in my opinion. And this year, Dawn Staley's like, that's not happening again. She said that's not happening again. And, you know, she's an amazing coach for a reason. She is an amazing coach for a reason. Yeah, Dawn Staley's the best. She really is a phenomenal coach. Really, really is. All right, y'all. And yes. How can I forget Tahina Pow Pow? Yeah. The person who I think has made the biggest of differences. You know, one of the players who has came through on the transfer portal and not everybody was checking for her. But I made a video about Tahina Pow Pow when they signed her. When she transferred to South Carolina, and I was talking about how good she was, how special she gonna be, and y'all, she's serious. She is serious. All right, y'all. We are going to finish out this the stream. We've been going for an hour and 15 minutes. So yeah, we're gonna close it out unless anybody has any final words that you would like to share with the group. I will say, guys, tomorrow we have a very special episode of Women's Basketball Weekly. Really fun stuff that we're gonna talk about. We're gonna, of course, give you all an update about all the major games that happened this past week. But yeah, I also have a special piece on WNBA free agency. I'm going to tell you all about WNBA free agency, all the things you need to know, who are free agents, who are not, what you need to look out for. So lots of stuff to talk about in tomorrow's episode of Women's Basketball Weekly. So I hope y'all check that out. Yeah, anything else y'all want to talk about? Michaela says, who is the better team, Iowa or Colorado? Well, I think Colorado has more pieces in terms of if Frida Foreman, for example, has a bad game, I think Colorado can still pull off the dub. They have more pieces than they have Frida Foreman, they have Aaronette Vonleh, they have Jalen Sherrod. You know, they have three core players who are really good, whereas Iowa. It really is just Caitlin. Yes, you have other players who can step up here and there, but it really is focused more on one player. So I would say it depends. If Caitlin has a bad game, then Colorado all day. But if Caitlin is in her bag, yeah, Iowa all day. So hopefully that answered your question. Michelle said, in other news, looking forward to our Aces next season with Candace back and a healthy point guard three-peat. I mean, it's looking like y'all could repeat. That's what it's looking like. Dejour is finishing off the stream saying Haley Van Lith to the bench. We'll see. I mean, Haley Van Lith is still a very, very talented player, though she's playing out of position. All things women's college basketball says Forbes can get buckets, and when she does, USC is hard to beat. Gamecock Fanatic says Gamecock is a fight. Given the definition of what a Gamecock is. Okay. All right. Irvin says, are you going to view the South Carolina game tomorrow? I will. Yeah. Yep. Actually, let me see what time that game is. Give me 1 second, guys. I just want to see what time that South Carolina game is. South Carolina plays Kentucky tomorrow. And this game is at 6 p.m. So actually that actually goes out the same time as Women's Basketball Weekly. So I may actually release Women's Basketball Weekly early. Just so we have an opportunity to, if we need to, hop on live and talk about that South Carolina game. For the most part, I tend to do sporadic lives if there's something that was sort of out of the ordinary for that game. For example, like today, I did a live because LSU lost, and not everybody was expecting LSU to lose, so I wanted to hop on and do that. So it depends on how LSU how South Carolina wins, basically. If it's a very close game, then I might do a live stream just so we can talk about it. But if they destroy Kentucky, like I'm expecting to destroy Kentucky, I'll watch the game, of course, but I may not do a live. Oh, thank you so much, M. M says, best women's basketball channel. Thanks for everything. Well, I really do appreciate you, M. I really do. Doris says, SEC schedule is very tough. It is. Facts. It is. Janae says, good night, Gamecocks. Oh, man. Michael says, you DMing any players and coaches to interview on your channel. I messaged I think I messaged like 3. I think 2 coaches and 1 player or former player. I can't even remember. It was like a couple weeks ago. I never heard anything, so I kind of got discouraged, and I didn't, and I haven't messaged anybody since. I just gotta just blast out messages and see if somebody replies. But like, yeah, I kind of got discouraged a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. So no, I haven't in the last week. I have not messaged another player or coach. But I will. I need because I really do want to start interviewing some players. So hopefully that happens. Gamecock Fanatic says, love your chat, Quita. Appreciate you. Let's go Aces. I think after this loss, I think Kim might do that. She might try taking Haley Van Lith off the bench. Though I would say it might make sense to just experiment. I know Michaela Williams has been killing so far this year. I know she has. But I would be interested to see Haley Van Lith being the starting 2 guard and having Michaela Williams being the 6th man off the bench just for one game. Like yes, Michaela Williams deserves to be starting. Yes, she does. But just as a way to just sort of see what works for this team, it may make sense to have Michaela Williams coming off the bench, guns a-blazing, just destroying teams, basically. I would love to see that. Is it confirmed that CP is back? I believe she said something recently about it basically being a done deal. If she's healthy, she's coming back. But I can't remember exactly what she said. But it was. I'll look into it now. I may talk about it in tomorrow's episode of Women's Basketball Weekly. But she said something recently about returning to basketball next year. All right, y'all. That South Carolina versus Kentucky game is on the SEC network tomorrow. So yeah, I do appreciate y'all so much for watching. Like y'all are some rock stars. Like I really do enjoy doing impromptu lives and talking to y'all. It really is a blast. So I do appreciate every single person, all 212 of y'all who are still on this live. I appreciate y'all. Let me know if y'all have suggestions about stuff that y'all want to hear lives about or just standalone videos about in the future. I put a poll on my community tab. If y'all could answer that poll and let me know stuff that y'all are interested in, that would be amazing. Again, I really do appreciate y'all. Happy Sunday. I hope y'all had an amazing day. Have a good evening. It's freezing in Chicago. It's like -4 degrees. So so that's fun. So I hope it's not too cold wherever you guys are. But yeah. All right, I'm rambling, so I'm going to shut up and leave you guys to your own devices, guys. You guys rock. I do appreciate y'all. And as always, until next time, guys, awesome people of the internet, y'all. We out. Bye, y'all.